I think obviously that the regional airports in Turkey have been essential for developing the air connectivity of the country. If we look simply at direct air connectivity, the regional airports account for 66% of the country's direct air connectivity, while Istanbul accounts for 34%. Of course, if we look at hub connectivity, Istanbul Airport accounts for 90% of it. But I think that data on the role of regional airports for direct connectivity is really crucial for the country. First, for its tourism industry, because of course it's a lot about getting the tourists directly where they want to spend their holidays, and also about the VFR traffic, visit friends and relatives. There are a huge diaspora of Turkish people living abroad, and they are from all over the country. So of course accessibility to their homeland, to their home region is key. And finally, of course, to support the economic development in a balanced manner across the whole country and not just in the big cities. In terms to reinforce the critical role of aviation for the global positioning of Turkey and also for its economy and its territorial development, there's three things that come to my mind. The first one is ensuring that low-cost carriers from across Europe can access the Turkish market. There are presently restrictions to their ability to do so, which are outdated. And if you want to maximize, in particular, the tourism potential of Turkey, in line with its 2023 tourism strategy, you really need to allow more low-cost carriers into the country to diversify the connectivity. The second factor is allowing airports to reflect inflationary pressures and their investment cost in what they charge to airlines, because that's about favoring the long-term development, allowing the Turkish airports to continue to modernize and to develop the capacity. And the third one is about sustainability, decarbonization. I think it's crucial that Turkey builds its own sustainable aviation fuel supply chain, because this will be indispensable for the competitiveness of any aviation market in the future. Well, I think this imbalance in the recovery comes from different factors. One is certainly the geopolitical tensions, which are hurting some markets more than others. And there, unless we come to more peaceful resolutions of those tensions, there's not much that can be done to favor the recovery of those airports that are impacted by geopolitical tensions. The second is the fact that the structure of the European aviation market has changed tremendously, and that the main drivers of the recovery have been low-cost carriers, ultra-low-cost carriers in particular, and leisure and VFR demand. And there I come back to the point I made earlier. It's crucial to abandon restrictions to market access for all airlines, giving the ability of all airlines to compete in the market, to access the market, and that includes, of course, low-cost airlines. And then the third factor is the ability to support regional airports in terms of their investment, in terms of their financial viability, especially airports with less than 1 million passengers per year. This is something that needs to be carefully considered to make sure those airports have the means to support their operations and also to continue to invest in the future. Well, I think Dalaman Airport is a prime example of what needs to be done, and I can only congratulate them for moving forward with their extensive solar power installation on their roof. This is now allowing them to secure 55% of their electricity needs. They will go up to 100% next year, thanks to favorable changes in the Turkish regulations. So I think, for airports like Dalaman, especially airports serving destination across the Mediterranean, solar power is the way to go. And I think it's a fantastic example, not just in Turkey and not just in Europe, but globally to follow. Well, I think this is a question which, of course, touches on political choices of each government. But if you look back at what has happened in Europe over the past 30 years, we've seen an increasing participation of private interest in developing and managing airports. And this has gone together with the transformation of airports, the evolution of their business model. Airports today as businesses in their own right, focused on fiscal discipline, on their ability to invest, on commercial acumen, and on sustainability. And I think the role of private investors there is crucial moving forward. So this is a development which I think has allowed the European airport sector, to stand out compared to other regions of the world. And I can only encourage governments to look at concessions and these kinds of model. Of course, they need to be tailor-made to their own specific needs, their own policy and political priorities, but the involvement of private investors, public-private partnerships have been a real success story for Europe.